over 1,000 residents of Olievenhoutbosch, that's in the south of Tshwane, have illegally occupied newly built government buildings, or houses rather. The community there claims that there's been no clarity on who should actually get these houses, and so they've taken it upon themselves to have them occupied. Last year, 3 people were shot dead while fighting to illegally occupy some of these units. Newzroom Afrika's Pelane Phakgadi is watching the story for us. He joins us now live from Olievenhoutbosch. And Pelane, you in extension 27, where I understand hundreds of these units have also been illegally occupied there. The concern is that a lot of time has now passed since the people moved in, making it difficult to get them out.
It will be very difficult for government to get them out, Ayanda. About 888 units, to be exact, have been occupied since 2017 here in the extension 26. And of course, that in itself gives an indication that it will be very much difficult for government to even take the people here in any to any other area, because they first have to, I would assume, they first have to ensure that they find suitable places for them to stay. I'm just going to ask my colleague Phakgadi to show you around. This is extension 26 here at 27 rather, here at Olievenhoutbosch, and quite a number of houses you see they were completed back in 2017, about 888. It was supposed to be about 3,500, and the contractor reported, I'm told, around 1,500 completion of the units, and they were supposed to be electrified, and then only then about 888 were found to have been occupied. I'm just going to bring in Godwin Ratekane. He is an EFF PR councillor in the city of Tshwane, and dare I say he's one of the self-beneficiaries here in the area. Ratekane, thank you for joining us here. 888 people, or 888 units, including yourself, yours, have been occupied here. What brought about that decision back in 2017 that you're going to illegally occupy this, even though electricity was not yet installed, still not installed to date?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, and thank you for having us. It is actually extension 27. So the decision to occupy these houses was basically motivated by the crisis that we have in Gauteng in terms of housing. So we've been lied to by the government for a very long time. We also have a situation whereby people with C forms from 1996 are still on the line and they are not getting allocated. And every time there is a housing project, the government wants to take people from another squatter camp or area to come and they must come and occupy housing in Oliven and elsewhere, which create black on black violence in general. Yeah. So what happened in this case is that people of Mooiplaas were given an opportunity to have their own extension, which is extension 60. Some years ago, and the community protested about it, but we eventually let it go. Then they had their own extension. Then these units are being built. But if you find the beneficiaries from Oliven were about 38 out of them in terms of the list that was published in Community Center. So then the community then decided that they're going to ensure that they actually occupy these houses, because you cannot have houses here and then you go take people from elsewhere to come and occupy the houses while we are on the back rooms.
Definitely. Now, so five years on, now what is the discussions that government is having with you guys? Because obviously there's electricity here. I see some of you guys have connected, meaning that there is no payment for electricity, but the people are using power.
Right, so we don't have a problem with paying the services. The problem is that the government never called a single meeting with us, including the steering committee and our leadership, whereby they can at least call us around the table and say, guys, we have a crisis, how do we resolve it? 5 years ago, we're still waiting. And all the time they keep on telling people, the only language they speak, they go on the media and say, we're going to give them a date, and on the 4th of this particular month they're going to be removed. And then this doesn't happen. Yeah. So the people are just living in fear, instead of them coming to talk to us directly and say, guys, what is the problem, how do we resolve it? Yeah. But we need to then understand that the government needs to come to the people, right? And they need to make sure. We've had so many protests, we've handed over many memorandums, trying to call them to say, come here, let us all talk about this matter.
Definitely. That's Godwin Ratekane, the EFF councillor, PR councillor within the city of Tshwane here in Olievenhoutbosch. And he also occupies this, one of the units here in extension 27. Quite a number of people, 888, have illegally occupied here, just like the 1,500 units on the other side that we've shown you a little bit earlier. And all that they are saying in common is that government must come to talk to them to find a way forward.
Phakgadi, live to us there from Olievenhoutbosch, that's in the south of Tshwane. Thanks very much indeed.